Vox and Alastor, two demons who managed to be one of the most toxic pairs imaginable in a show that literally takes place in hell. One of them cannot let go, and the other refuses to care. There is a saying, a match made in hell, originally used to describe a relationship doomed by incompatibility. In modern pop culture, it has come to mean something else entirely. Two horrible people who complete each other in their worst traits. That saying perfectly describes Vox and Alastor. Theirs is one of the most complex relationships that this show has produced. Their relationship is not just romantic, not just antagonistic, and not just rivalry. It's obsession, resentment, imitation, and power colliding for over 70 years. Throughout all this discourse, one thing remains constant. Whatever these two have, it's intense as hell. In this video, I'll dissect the relationship between Vox and Alastor to uncover just how deeply destructive they are, for others and for each other. Let's start at the very beginning. Our tale starts in Pentagram City, when a young sinner, Vincent, became friends with one of the most terrifying overlords in hell, the radio demon, Alastor. Before we continue our story, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like this video or leave a comment. Your support inspires me to create more. Not much is known about how these two became friends, as in canon we only get a glimpse into Vox's and Alastor's relationship in the past. And even that short scene was displaying the exact moment that shattered their relationship. This was the beginning of something intense and horrible. Vox and Alastor definitely had some sort of connection, and it was deep enough for Vox to call Alastor a friend. Vox proposes that they team up and rule hell together by combining their strength, Alastor's raw power and Vox's influence and forward thinking. As the TV demon said, they would be unstoppable. Alastor, being Alastor of course, couldn't accept being dependent on anyone and seeing it as a weakness. He berated Vox for his proposition, actively shattering their relationship and creating the start of the resentment that Vox harbors to this very day. And so the divide begins. But first, I have a dream, and I'm here to tell you about a wonderful new indie game, Willow's Paper House, which I myself am developing. For the past year, I've been working on a narrative mystery adventure RPG, a dark fairy tale story that will leave a hole in your heart, the good kind. If you love games like Frambow, Grease, or Ori and the Blind Forest, you will feel right at home. I wanted to create a story where magic and memory feel intertwined, where you can't tell what was ever real, and where you explore the things you're afraid to face. You play as 13-year-old Willow trapped in a paranormal hospital where time behaves in unpredictable ways. You'll explore, solve puzzles, uncover secrets, play minigames, and slowly peel back the truth while searching for your missing brother. Along the way, you'll meet strange and unusual characters, some unsettling, some well-meaning, and face moral choices that shape who you become, a savior or the villain of your own story. You can wishlist Willow's Paper House on Steam, follow us on social media, and check out the demo when it releases. You'll be complete. It will be so neat. And now, back to the video. You could say that Alastor's hubris created the monster that Vox became later. Alastor's hateful rejection definitely did its part in forming Vox's obsession with besting the radio demon. After this tragic event, we do not really have that much information about how Vox and Alastor interacted. At one point in time, Vox became an overlord, and he also made two associates who are Velvet and Valentino, and together they rose to power, becoming known as the V's. 7 years ago something happened. The next official confirmation we know of their relationship is that around 7 years ago, and it is that Vox and Alastor fought, and Vox almost got bitten, and then Alastor disappeared. From what I've gathered, the result of their fight is unknown, but feel free to correct me in the comments. By that I mean who almost won, who almost lost, and how bad Alastor got out of that fight. After that, Vox was gathering power and Alastor was doing Rose's bidding, and later he emerged at the Hazbin hotel, proposing his services as the host, following Rose's plan, the details of which we do not yet know. Then, Vox found out about Alastor. His old obsession sparked anew, clearly showing us through the song State Gun that Vox is not a single bit over his obsession. At the end of this song, we do get a glimpse of Alastor's true demonic form, and him cheerfully declaring that after he's done, he will have so much fun, which implies that Vox will not have any fun at all, which definitely brings Vox some distress. Later in Season 2, Vox's and Alastor's power struggle became one of the main conflicts of the show. Vox and Alastor made a deal that made Alastor Vox's captive, but it was a plot orchestrated by Alastor to use Vox and free himself from under Rose's deal and gain his power back. I do not believe that Vox's and Alastor's relationship can be classified as a single matter, whether it's romantic or antagonistic. One thing is the truth. Vox feels way more towards Alastor than Alastor feels towards Vox. And despite this, Alastor thinks more of Vox than he dares to admit. I believe that it is a mix of infatuation, obsession, resentment and rivalry that has been bottled up for more than 70 years and burst like an open wound in Season 2, which led to one of the best subplots in this series and definitely one of the most entertaining ones. To fully understand what Vox and Alastor's relationship is, we first need to look at both of them. Vox and Alastor are mirrors to each other, and they are practically the same except for one thing, the feeling of self-importance. While Vox acts like he's confident in his every action, he is, in my personal opinion, deeply insecure and easy to hurt, especially by those he deems to be objects of his obsession, such as Alastor. Alastor is slightly more self-aware, which makes him far harder to manipulate. Other than that, I believe that Vox and Alastor are almost identical. They are equally ambitious and desire power, but for different reasons. Vox wants to prove to others that he is a being of a higher power. He tried to do that on Earth, and he tries to do it in Hell. His god complex was present way before he met Alastor, but it stems from his insecurity and constant need to be validated. That is why he built this facade of a perfect businessman and media figure, constantly stressing his brand value and perfection over authenticity. And that's what he tries to impose on his co-workers, Velvet and Valentino. Alastor does not really obsess over perfection. True, he holds himself as a gentleman, but that's not meant to impress anybody. He just genuinely loves having certain manners and a certain polite decorum, which he has no trouble letting go whenever he feels like it, such as when he's having fun with violent and hurting others. Alastor is comfortable with being himself, while Vox hides his true image from anyone but Velvet and Valentino, and maybe even from them too. Alastor is the only person in the show with whom Vox lets his guard down. Or rather, Alastor is the only one who sees Vox as he is. I believe that some part of Vox longs to get back to the connection he had with Alastor before. But at the same time, because of that desire, he's so easy to manipulate by Alastor. To summarize, firstly, we've established that Vox and Alastor both desire power, but for different reasons. Vox has a god complex. He wants to be seen as this perfect image of a being that cannot be harmed and cannot feel the same pain and humiliation that he felt with Alastor upon being rejected. Alastor, as far as we can see, wants power to be feared, power for the sake of power, power to be able to continue his massacre. Secondly, both Alastor and Vox are exceptionally good at manipulating others. They are both extremely charismatic individuals who are cold, calculating, and see others as means to an end. Vox's problem is that he is so used to being the one who manipulates that he does not recognize that Alastor is far better in this game than he is. But here's where Vox's and Alastor's methods and goals differ. Despite both being quite charismatic, they obtained their success through very different means. Alastor became a popular radio host without any demonic deals, without getting rid of his competition, and he did it with fair work. Alastor's desire for power was fueled by his ambition to massacre. His ultimate goal was to spread death and have fun. For Vox, getting power was a means of feeding his ego and god complex. He did not get what he wanted through honest work. He killed people for it. And that's very telling of how Alastor and Vox approach life. Even though Alastor cheated in gaining demonic power, he did not cheat in his human life. While Vox, even though he obtained his demonic status as an overlord fair and square through his own skills and influence, obtained his human success by murdering his competition, basically cheating. Again, there is a very interesting parallel between Vox and Alastor. Alastor was an honest man in his professional human life, and he cheated in his demonic life, while Vox was a cheater in his human life and worked fairly to obtain power as a demon. The parallels do not end here. The thing with both Alastor and Vox is that they are essentially frauds and they hate themselves for their weakness. Vox much more than Alastor. Alastor was so successful in manipulating Vox because he recognized how both of them relied on others to achieve power. Let's be real, Alastor did not become as powerful a demon as he is on his own. Sure, he killed a bunch of people while he was alive, but his main source of power is his deal with Rosie, who decided to grant it to Alastor. Alastor's soul is on a leash. He serves, or served at the time of the end of Season 2, somebody else. Vox is as free as you can be in hell. He does not owe his soul to anybody, and his power came to him through his own work. And I believe that Alastor is just a tad bit jealous because of that. The point is, Alastor depends on others a lot. He's not a one-man army as he pretends to be, losing his fight with Adam, requiring Nifty's and Husk's help during his match with the V's. Alastor has been a real hypocrite when he accused Vox of achieving success through others. But Vox is so deeply obsessed with Alastor that he actually lets Alastor's words make an impression on him, even though they are exaggerated. Alastor pretends as if it's possible to become a god on your own through your own power, while it does not work like that. Humans need each other's support. It's true that Rome wasn't built in a day, and it is for sure wasn't built by one person. If anything, Vox has been way more impressive than Alastor throughout his demonic life, something that TV Demon could have recognized if not for his self-esteem issues and fixation on Alastor. And don't even let me started on Alastor's accusations that Velvet and Valentino contributed way more than Vox to their plan of conquering heaven. Let's face it, what did Valentino contribute to the plan? What did Velvet contribute to the plan? We are not sure because we aren't told in the show. We see that they are responsible for putting on the show and managing social media, but Vox was the one who had the idea with the might of Lilith. Vox was the one who successfully captured Lucifer, and he was the one who manipulated Charlie to destroy her public image. But honestly, with the last one, he didn't even have to try. Charlie did his job for him. Vox has done most of the planning and the execution, and Alastor's words are hollow. The problem is, Vox idealizes Alastor beyond any reasonable means. He modeled his post-breakup behavior after Alastor. Vox has this copycat personality, and we see through his song Brighter. When he was alive, he murdered a lot of TV personalities, be it news anchors or hosts of some TV shows. Each time he murdered them, he copied their personality, from their clothing style to their mannerisms. Vox likes to model his behavior after others, essentially absorbing them. But I also think that this is kind of his killing pattern. He obsesses over his targets and consumes them, ultimately depriving them not only of their life, but also of their whole personality. Vox has these feelings towards Alastor, that of a killer obsessing over its target. Alastor was right in one thing. Vox's proposition to become partners was partially, I say partially because I do not think it was his direct intent, Vox's attempt to absorb Alastor into himself, however weird it may sound. What I mean is that Vox tried to gain Alastor's strength and personality by making him part of his team. But when Alastor refused Vox's pursuit, he essentially shattered Vox's killing pattern, and this obsession with Alastor as his target never went away. If we look closely, Vox copied almost everything from Alastor, from the way he conducts himself in public to the way his voice changes when he speaks. Alastor has this radio effect, and Vox has this TV effect. Then there are TV sounds that Vox has from time to time, and Alastor had in the pilot. Then, of course, there's Vox's fashion sense, which is almost a direct copy of Alastor's. Vox is obsessed with dominating Alastor as well, because this would allow him to finally cross this one line he's been trying to cross for decades. Finally consuming Alastor as his murder target, as his interest and his obsession. But Alastor was right when he said to Vox, "You're broken from the start, no victory will ever be enough," because he is right. Vox does not love himself, and until he learns to be satisfied with who he is, he will never be happy with any of his victories, and even becoming a god will not be satisfactory enough. And Alastor knows that. One more thing about Alastor. Even though he's cruel and manipulative to Vox, it is clear that he recognizes the TV demon's potential. He was excited to battle with Vox in the last episode despite his backhanded compliments. I think Alastor knows Vox can become stronger if he lets go of his, in Alastor's opinion, weakness of depending on others. What I'm saying is, Alastor can't fathom an idea of being perfection in any other way than himself. I guess, in a way, Alastor being so cruel to Vox for depending on others is him subconsciously being cruel to himself for doing the same. There are a lot of feelings between the TV and radio demons, and fans are very free to speculate. I would really love it if you could tell me what you think Vox and Alastor are in the comments. Despite everything, one thing remains constant. They cannot be separated from each other. They are connected by the narrative, and their confrontation and then every other subsequent interaction continues to be a highlight of the series for me, and proves that Hazbin Hotel is definitely capable of writing very sharp, rich and dynamic relationships between the characters. That's all for me. Again, don't forget to subscribe and like this video and leave a comment. I would love to hear what you think of Alastor and Vox. Thank you for watching this video and staying up until the very end. I guess I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!